Did you ever stop and wonder, think, and realize how many times we use the word mercy during the Mass? You know, we began with the penitential rite, Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy, Lord have mercy. I said it, you repeated it. We use mercy in the gospel today. Have pity on me. Basically the same thing. And we'll hear it again and again throughout the Eucharistic prayer. Most of us, myself included, we tend to gloss over it. As I've been reminding everybody, in a very short amount of time, basically in 6 weeks, we will begin the International Special Year of Mercy, a holy year. And there will be special events in Rome, and our bishop is working on a few things that will happen here in the diocese, you know, walking through the holy doors and pilgrimages and so forth. But just like we plan anything, you know, stop and think when you were getting ready to get married. You know, you began planning, or your mother did it for you, one or the other. But you did your planning. Even, I'm sure, if you're going away on vacation, you plan. When are we leaving? When are we coming back? What do we need to bring with us? We plan. We prepare. I'd like to say that we need to prepare for the year of mercy. We need to think ahead. In all of the pews, there is a card. Take one if you want. There's more by the doors. I have plenty. But on the back is something that we all learned when we were kids and probably have completely forgotten since then. The corporal works of mercy. Feed the hungry. Give drink to the thirsty. Clothe the naked. Visit the sick. Shelter the homeless. Visit the imprisoned. Bury the dead. Now this year at Mass we're reading the Gospel of Mark. But you know that in the Gospel of Matthew there's the famous parable of the king comes and separates the sheep from the goats. You goats over here, no good. Sheep over here, good. And he asks the dividing factor, did you do these things? He doesn't say, did you go to Mass every Sunday? Did you say the rosary? Were you good? This is what he asks. Doesn't ask to see your 401k. Doesn't ask to see your credit statement. Doesn't ask to see any books that you may have published. He said, did you feed the hungry? Did you visit the sick? Now I have to say, as a ministry in this parish, it's wonderful. We have people who bring communion to those who are at home, people who bring communion to those who are sick, people who let me know, you know, Father, you got to go see so-and-so. They need anointing, or they need confession, or they're dying. But they're out there on a weekly basis. You know, two of them, Frank Cava and Barbara Disi, are here this evening, so I'll embarrass them. But they are among the many people who are constantly reaching out to visit the sick, to care for those who are dying. The corporal works of mercy, the things that the gospel says, when push comes to shove, when we stand before God, this is what it's about. Where the rubber hits the road, this is what it looks like. We're on the 30th Sunday of the church year, of ordinary time. And now, for the next 4 weeks, our Gospels and our readings begin to get a little gloom and doom. They begin to look forward to the end of the church year and the end of all time. We begin to focus on death, resurrection, judgment. All of those things are a part of the readings over the next couple of weeks. But it's not always, it's not about the things that we frequently judge about. It's going to be this. Did we forgive? Did we admonish the sinner? Did we instruct the ignorant? We have over 70 catechists in our parish. That's more than most parishes that are 3 times the size of us. We have a lot of people who are involved. In our almost 250 young people that are in religious ed, we have many, many adults who are engaged with them. Comfort the sorrowful. How many of us know people who genuinely feel in pain? You know, right now, tomorrow will be the end of the special synod on the family. And it's really kind of interesting that by the time they get all the things translated and ready to be published, that material will come out right around the beginning of the Year of Mercy. And most of the time during a synod, when a synod happens, It issues a teaching. And so you get, the fact is, all of our clergy are male, and most of our bishops are older males. And so you have these 270 men who have been reflecting on what the church has taught us about family. And we are really good at problem solving and teaching. Is that what we really need? St. John the 23rd, and now Pope Francis, St. John the 23rd, in calling the Second Vatican Council, said we need to look at the reality of the world. We have just endured 2 world wars. We have just endured further conflict. We have just endured the almost obliteration of the Jewish nation. Who are we in the midst of this? And who do we need to be? And now Francis turns around and says, around the world, a lot of the things that we hold near and dear, have always held near and dear, are struggling. We need to talk about family. But let's talk about it not from the idea of the ideal, but let's talk about it from the idea of what people are actually living. Where are they? It's called the difference between deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Let's look at what's actually happening. And from that, hear where God is calling us. I've been saying week after week, I have no idea what the final document from the Synod is going to look like. None of us do. But I do believe with all my heart and soul and half my liver that it is an act of God's Spirit, whatever it says. And I look forward to that. I look forward to entering into the year of mercy so that you and I together can hone our commitment to the gospel in the things that we do. Take a card home. Take 2 or 3 home if you need them. Maybe one on the front because that's the official international logo for the Year of Mercy. On the back are the corporal and spiritual works of mercy. But to ask ourselves, how will we in my family, because family is the school of mercy, how will we demonstrate mercy, not only for this coming year, but for the rest of our lives? But maybe make this year a year where we examine ourselves and maybe jumpstart again mercy in our lives. Not just mercy for the people who are here, because all of us know people who maybe were born Catholic and are not here. Maybe were never baptized and are afraid to even think about what the church might be. All of us know people like that. Mercy, compassion is for them too. Maybe even more especially for them. The year of mercy. Let's begin planning now. For you, O Lord, have done great things for us. And our heart is filled with